In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this 3x4 mini album using one sheet of 12x12 pattern paper. For this tutorial, I'll be using the Paper Rose Studios Pansy Garden collection. But of course, you can use whatever 12x12 paper you have in your stash. Hi, this is Anna of Crafty Anna Studio. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I post paper crafting and card making tutorials. First, let's take a look at the Paper Rose Studios Pansy Garden paper collection. This 12x12 paper collection has 12 double-sided pattern papers, 2 of each of the 12 designs. First up is a cut-apart page where you have 4x3 cut-aparts as well as 6x4. And on the reverse, we have a beautiful Pansy Garden image. Next, we have a wood grain background, more pansies, and a little butterfly at the top. On the reverse, we have a repeating pattern of flowers. Next, we have a 6x6 cut-apart page. On the reverse, a tone-on-tone purple watercolor background with stripes. This one is a page where you have different images which you can cut apart to add to your projects. On the reverse is a polka dot yellow design. Next, we have a white brick background with a birdhouse among some flowers. And then on the reverse are butterflies, a repeating pattern of butterflies. This one is really interesting. You have a whole bunch of pansies which you can cut apart for your project. And on the reverse is a pink watercolor background. Then, of course, you have 6 more pages of the same designs. There is also a 6x6 paper pack, but this time you get 18 sheets per pack. Now let's get started. I took one of the 12x12 sheets from the pack, and this one is the one with a wood grain background and a repeating pattern of pansies at the back. I took my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim off the branding strip at the bottom. So I put it exactly at the 12-inch mark and cut off the strip. I'm going to save this strip to embellish my mini album later on. Next, I'm going to put it on the 8-inch mark on my paper trimmer and cut it off at 8 inches. I'll be using the 8x12 for the album itself, and this other strip that I cut off will be for the cover. This is 4x12. I'll bring out my scoreboard and we're going to do some scoring. I take the 8x12 that I'd cut out earlier, and on the 12-inch side, I will score at 3 inches, then at 6 inches, and then 9 inches. So first 3, then 6, and then finally at 9. Then I'm going to turn it to the 8-inch side and score down in half at 4 inches. This will be the base of the album. Next, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along this 4-inch line, stopping short of 3 inches. So I'm just going to cut along the scored line. You can use a paper trimmer for this, but I find this easier. I'm going to cut along the line and I'm going to just stop short of 3 inches. And this is what it looks like. Next, I'll do some folding. So I'm going to fold out and inwards and then outwards again to create an accordion fold on one side. And then next I'll do the same to the other side. Later on, you're going to see I'm going to change my mind on the folding. But for now, I'm folding it this way so that the wood grain background is shown on the outside of the album. but later on I'm going to change my mind and fold it the other way so that the pattern on the other side will show at the front. And if you're working with double-sided paper, you can decide which side you want to show for your pages. I decided to fold it in the other way so that the repeating pattern of flowers will be on the outside of the album and the wood grain will be on the inside pages of the album. It'll all make sense in a while. So after I did the accordion fold, I'm going to fold it in this way to create a 4 by 3 album. So this is what the pages look like on the inside. The base of the album is pretty much done. You can actually start embellishing this already. But I decided to take the other strip that I cut off earlier to make a cover. On the 12-inch side, I'm going to trim it at 6 1/4. Then using my scoreboard, on the 6 1/4 inch side, I'm going to score at 3 inches, then flip it over to the other side and score again at 3 inches. Then I'm going to fold both scored lines using the edge of the scoreboard. And that is the 1/4 inch spine for the mini album. Next, I'm going to attach the album to the cover. So I take some liquid glue and add a generous amount to the inside back of the cover. I'll take the base of the album and glue the back of the album to the inside back of the cover. And this is why I use liquid glue, because you want to make sure that you have everything aligned before it sets permanently. Just make sure you don't add glue to the spine area. Next, I'm going to add a diagonal pocket on the inside cover. And I'm going to take this strip that I'd cut off earlier to use as a trim for my diagonal pocket. I'll add some glue at the back, place it down on a diagonal with the bottom left corner and the top right corner to create a diagonal pocket. Then I will take my scissors and trim off one side and then trim off the excess on the other side. Then I will cut out the top part to create the pocket. And that's what will go at the inside front cover. Now, it does not fit quite properly to open and close, so I'm going to trim this down. I'm going to cut it out. Just like that. And then I'm going to glue this pocket to the inside front cover. So I'm adding glue to one side, then at the bottom, then at the other side, and then glue it down at the very corner. Just like that. Make sure everything is aligned and it does not go beyond the scored line of the spine. Then I'll trim away any excess. Now for the first page, I'm going to show you what I did. This is what I created earlier. I made a vellum pocket and attached it to the first page. The next page, I used one of the cut aparts to create an extra page. And then here, I put a pocket. For this one, I'm going to cut a notch with my circle punch, just like that, right in the middle. And this is going to be an additional pocket. So I'm going to add glue to the bottom and to one side to make this a pocket insert. Let me close it and press it down firmly. So here I've created another pocket. In the next page, I'm going to create another diagonal pocket with a leftover strip from earlier. So I'm going to take the bottom right and the top left and adhere it on to the page diagonally, just like that. So again, bottom right corner and top left corner. I'll bring it up close to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. This is of course optional. You can actually just create a regular diagonal pocket just by cutting it off. But here I wanted to embellish it a little with a leftover strip from the 12 by 12 pattern paper. So I'm going to trim off one side. Then I'm going to fold it in and trim off the other side. Then I'm going to trim off the top part at a diagonal. But first, I'm going to cut off the side right to that point and then cut at a diagonal. Then I'm going to glue the pocket down. So first I'll add glue to the side, then at the bottom, and then on the other side. Then press it down. Make sure that the glue adheres properly. And then that's the pocket. And that is pretty much the base of the album. And then you can embellish it to your heart's content. Here's a quick run through of what we made so far. We have an inner front cover diagonal pocket. We have page 1, page 2 and 3 with a pocket insert. Then we have this page, which I can embellish later on and I'll show you. And then we have another pocket. We have another page which you can decorate. And then I'm going to show you what I did here later on. And then you can put another diagonal pocket here if you want. And then that's the back cover. So I'm going to show you what I created with this as a base album. So this is what I created earlier to use as a sample. Remember the page with the pansies? I cut them out and used it to embellish the front cover. And I used one of the cut aparts too. For this, I used another cut apart and inserted in. This one is an envelope which I made out of vellum. And I probably will show that in a future video. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see that. Then here I used the cut apart and I added a page. And then I added also another strip here left over to create a pocket. And you can see how I attached the cut apart, which is with vellum. And I'll show you that later on. Here I have a pocket insert that we created. Next, I have another cut apart which I used to flip up page. And here I took a 1-inch strip, scored it in half, and then used that to attach one of the cut aparts to one of the pages. And here is that diagonal pocket with another cut apart. And then here I added another strip to create a band, like a belly band, and then another cut apart. And then I added, for this pocket, I used one of the cut aparts and cut it in a diagonal, added another strip for embellishment to create a diagonal pocket for the back cover. This mini album is quite versatile. You can embellish it any which way you want using leftover scraps like I did here. I'm going to use this later on and to embellish this other album. As you can see, the possibilities are endless. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you did, kindly like and subscribe to my channel to see more. I'll be posting some card making videos soon, and if you are into card making, don't worry, I have some videos on that coming soon. If you're interested in this collection from Paper Rose Studios, I'll have it linked in the video description below for you to check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful crafty day. Till next time, bye!